Ah. Welcome everybody to Ask a Wizard. We're doing a little tech work here. I'm gonna see if we can make this thing work. I don't know if this will work. Don't get the right angles. My goodness. This is just very hard to make work, isn't it? Alright, we're gonna have to try something else. Bear with me, we're doing a little tech support, little trial and error here today. But I want to try and get this angle to work. All right. Let's see if we can get this to work. That way, it'll show up a little bit better on the good old YouTubes. Let's see here. It's Chill Steve. All right. To the live stream there. Welcome, everybody. Dude, why did you block me on Insta? Because you asked for a bribe to get followed on TikTok. It's not how you make friends. And I don't hang out and communicate with people who do that. So unless you want to get blocked from here too, I'd recommend taking your losses where they're at. It's all right. But yeah, you don't go and say, oh, I paid you money. Why are you not following me on TikTok? That's a really bad approach. But now you guys can't see the cards, can you? That's frustrating. I'm trying to figure out a way to make the sideways camera work, but it's just not seeming to work here. All right, well, we'll have to go back to the standard approach for today's stream. Now I'm stuck on this way. My goodness. This is frustrating. This is frustrating. How are we going to make this work? Let's see. I'm going to turn off the stream and I'm going to come right back. That's what we're going to do. Let's try that out. Will that work? Can I do that? Or can I just alter it here? No. Well, here we are. We'll have to try and make the stream work this way. Hey, now you can see my kombucha. What do you guys think of that? That's our homemade kombucha that we're building. Maybe I can present you the cards like this. That would be a way of doing it. Turn it the other way and put something under the phone. If I turn it the other way, I can only do it this way. This is the only way it will let me do. No, Mason, that's not how these things work. However, if you guys would like to get a stream or a wizard reading, let me know in the comments below and we will get your reading started shortly. This is a puzzle. What if we just throw my phone around violently here? Maybe a little bit better? A little bit better? I don't know. Hey Tyler, can I have a reading? Sure. We'll get you guess we're doing 1-card readings here today. We'll be doing 1-card readings for today's stream and do the lecture, and then I'm going to figure out how to make this work, because this is not going to work. But hey, at least we're sideways now. That's a step in the right direction. Let us begin. Who's looking for a reading? Vilone, let's get you a reading here today. All right, let's pick a card and see what we got. It's almost there. It's almost there. I think I just need to get lower, and then we can get the table. Aaron is looking for a reading as well. Awesome. Aaron is on the list right there. Oh. And you started the new page. Congratulations, Aaron. All right, let us begin. Try not to knock this thing over 6 more times throughout the stream. Vilone's looking for About Life. All right, let's take a look here. I might be able to do 3 cards like this. Take a look at your past, present, and future. So let's take a look like this. Boom. Let's see how this works. Not as visually stunning, but it might be beneficial. Let's take a look. So what we see popping up here in the past for you, dude, Can I be your friend? Not on TikTok, but in general. I typically don't make friends with people on the internet. So what we have here is the Judgment card popping up here in the past. And what this represents for you, hey Matthew, how's it going? We're testing out a new angle and it's not going well, but that's all right. Vlone is looking for guidance about life. So what we got here is the Judgment card. So the Judgment card is about a time in our life where things come in to the people get their just rewards. And so this could be representing to us, but this can also be other people in our lives. So this could be a card that can bring about negative feelings or resentment, but it's important to know that it's good to have a Judgment card come into play because it kind of sets the field right. It levels the playing field, and it really just puts us in a position where, while it was tough for us to go through, while it was difficult for us to handle, this is a frustrating time to have happen in our lives. And that being said, we're now getting a nice playing field to work with. So we've seen the mistakes of the past. We can learn from them and try not to repeat them. And it is fair. It might not feel good, but it's not feeling unfair. So it's a good thing to have happen here in the past. And now what we see walking into the present is what you're being challenged with now, which is to Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups here is about confidence in your emotions. So, or a stability of your emotions. And so what this means is you really need to be working on balancing your emotional stability. You have to stop letting your emotions get the best of you and really control the way that you act and feel. This is a common problem that you're running into. And frankly, my brother-in-law does these things. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. So you have to not deal with these imbalances of emotions where they really overwhelm you and cause you to make decisions that negatively affect your life. You kind of feel good in the moment, but this isn't good. And so what this card is saying here is, hey, you've seen what happens when we overreact on our emotions in the past. Let's try and gain control over that now. Let's learn from that lesson. Let's focus on developing the skill set here into the future so we don't have to keep having that kind of issue. So that's what the Four of Cups represents. Is this sounding accurate for you, Vlone? Let me know in the comments below if this is sounding on point. And if not, that's perfectly fine. We will adjust accordingly. Let's see here. Hey, Matthew, how are you doing? Did you stream on TikTok today? Yes, I did. Ariane, we got you on the list. Yes, Mason, I will get you on the list. Boom. Mason is now on the list. By the way, if you're here and you'd like to get a free reading, make sure you share the stream. Give this thing a thumbs up. Do something to help boost us in the algorithm so we can reach more people. Four of Cups isn't very accurate, but the first card definitely was. Okay, so the first card is sounding accurate for you, the Judgment calling to time, but the Four of Cups is sounding off point. So the other interpretation for the Four of Cups is rather than emotions, this is about stability of relationships. So the Cups can represent relationships or emotions. So the other angle that we could be looking at here is the problem of needing to build stable friendships and family bonds. So another potential avenue to really avoiding this problem that happened in the past is the realization that we really need to have solid bonds and relationships with a group of friends and our family. And so that could be the other angle. Is that sounding more accurate for you there? Dark B dropping a YouTube symbol. Circus Baby says, can I get a reading, please? Absolutely. Is that sounding more on point for you, Vlone? Let me know. Circus Baby, you're on the list now. I don't know why that always makes me think of the Rubber Ducky song. It's a good name, though. Definitely more accurate. Awesome. Glad to hear that that's sounding on point for you. So let us move on to the next steps. And what we see popping up for you here is the King of Wands. This one's been popping up a lot today for some reason. Very interesting indeed. And the King of Wands is about knowledge of your principles. And so what this is saying is that a good avenue for you to start building friendships is to really define what it is you want from life and what you believe in and what you hold to be true. And by doing that, you can really start to build the friendships and bonds that you want from your life. Once you know the things that you are striving for, it's a lot easier to build friends. For example, let's say you want to be really great salesman or a really great marketer. Well, then that lets you know, hey, maybe I should hang out with kids who are also into business and entrepreneurship. Or if you want to be a streamer, for example, you should go and meet people who are interested in the same topics so that you guys can share and grow and help each other and support each other and learn together. So that would be my recommendation for you. If you're trying to build a friendship group, figure out what you believe in and what you hold to be true and what your goals are. And then from there, that's going to help you identify who the best people for friendships will be. And that is the recommendations I have for you, Velo, and I hope that helps you out, gives you some insights. And we're going to move on to the next reading. No, I will not sub to you. That is not how I do subs. Do stuff that is worthy of subbery, and then I will. For example, I'm subbed to Austin Lane because Austin Lane made awesome videos of Ask a Wizard. He also makes some pretty cool memes. Who knows the song Discord? Huh? Mason says I shared. I got you on the list, Mason. Thank you for that. Moise says, hi. Hey, Moise, you missed your reading yesterday. What? Circus Baby, who knows the song Discord? Never heard of it. All right, so next up on the list, we have Arian. Arian, you are up. Ariana, maybe? Aaron? Arian? I'm not sure. You are up next. It's time for your reading. Do. My name is Erwin. Erwin, awesome. Okay, Erwin. Neat. I like that. It's like you're an airbender and you always win. Kind of like Aang. Let's get some thumbs up in here, boost us up the algorithm, and get some shares up in here, boys and girls. And let's get Erwin's reading started right now. Anything in particular you're looking for insights on, Erwin? Let me know in the comments below, and we will get your reading started shortly. I don't know if I should try to open my third. I tried once, and I felt only bad energy. I don't know why. Probably because that's not something you should really try to do. It's not a... You aren't the source of power. Logos is the source of power. You don't want to be trying to bend the world to your will. Instead, you should try to figure out what is the truth, what is reality, and follow that. Mason says, are you a real wizard? Yes, indeed. All right, Erwin, let's get your reading going. So, looking into the past, we see the High Priestess popping up here for you. And so what this represents is a time in your life where it's important for you to really analyze your principles and to taking a really mature approach to your life. And we see you doing this in the past, which is really incredible. Most people don't do this ever in their life. So the fact that you took in the time to do it is really great. And what this represents here is going through and really saying, what are the things that I know are true and what I believe in, what am I passionate about, and then realistically analyzing those things from a pros and cons and setting them down and saying, look, this is what I need to do if I want to accomplish my goals. These are the things I will need to sacrifice if I want to accomplish my goals. And that is a very mature approach in life to take. Most people don't do that. And the fact that you did do that is a very good first step. Now, walking into the present, what we do see is that by doing that process, we ran into the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is about growth in wisdom. And so what this represents here is the knowledge that you gained from going through that process, while it was valuable, was pretty painful. You realize you're going to have to sacrifice a lot. You're not going to be able to have as much fun as you expected, and it's going to be a lot of work to accomplish your dreams and what you believe in and your goals. And while that is painful, it is the truth, and because of that, you are in a better position to really take the necessary steps to actually accomplish your goals, which most people never even take the first steps towards. So that's where we kind of find you at right now. Erwin, is this sounding accurate for you? Let me know in the comments below if this is on point. And if not, that's perfectly fine. We will adjust accordingly. Just let me know. This owl, who is a bit invasive right now, I'm gonna try and adjust him like that. That is the symbol of the Parliament of Owls. Dark B is looking for a reading. Have you shared and thumbed up the video? That's how you get a free reading, Dark B. My stepsister had a card. I think it said stronger. You mean strength, probably? How would I be able to study wizardry? Where do I start? So wizards study archetypical story and use magic and illusion. So we use the archetypical story to figure out what paths and stories people are in their life. And then from there, we use magic and illusion to present useful information to them to help them move forward on their hero's journey. I particularly study philosophy. That's the advice that I typically give out. So that's like Aristotle, Plato, Marcus Aurelius, but you can acquire any useful information and follow these two principles to distribute that wisdom to people to help them out. Dark B says, okay, I share now. Thank you very much. Dark B, let me get you on the list. Dark B. And after Circus Baby, we're going to be doing the lecture, and then Dark B will be next after that. I have to go to bed. It's 5:18 for me. My goodness, Mason. Good night. That is very late. Yeah, okay, I sure now. Thank you very much. Have to go to bed. Oh, wow. Is this sounding accurate for you, sir? Erwin, is this on point, or are we missing something? Let me know in the comments below. There it is. The second card is a little off, and if you said I did say career, and thank you. This is definitely regarding your career, and so this is kind of saying, hey, we thought about what we believe in and our principles, and we're realizing that the career that we want is going to cause us to have to make some pretty big sacrifices in regards to our career. If we're trying to get what we want from our career, this is definitely saying it's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of work, but we're now aware of the sacrifice to make that career happen. Is that sounding more accurate for you, Erwin, or are we still missing something? Aaron says, yep, good night, man. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Well, thank you very much. Awesome. Aaron says, oh, okay. Yep, awesome. Glad to hear this is sounding on point for you. Sweet. Let's move on to the next step. So what we see here is the Page of Wands. This is an interesting card to see popping up here. So I wasn't expecting to see this, but what this is basically telling us is we need to understand that we're still inexperienced with what we really want from life. And this might just be one journey. We might have a lot more ahead of us that we're not even aware of. And so what this is saying is, don't get too wrapped up in this is the one thing I have to do in my life. This is it. It's all over. If I don't do this, I'm done. Instead, just kind of learn to love the process of going through this, gaining new skills, learning new information, and all of that. And that's going to really help you out and help you grow. So that would be my recommendation, Erwin, is don't be too concerned with like, this is the final decision of my career. Once I've made this, it's all over. You don't need to be doing that. Relax and just take it slow, have some fun, and gain some wisdom. That would be my recommendation for you. I hope that helps you out, gives you some insights, and we're going to move on to the next reading. My stepsister's card had a girl and a lion. Neat. No problem at all, Aaron. I'm glad I was able to help. Vallone has redacted his message. Are you in the CIA, Vallone? Tell me. Dark B has also redacted. Oh my goodness. We've got like a CIA and an FBI redacting messages in my chat. This is intense. Hi, Tyler. How are you? I'm doing very well. Not Dolphin Chris. Well, we don't know who you are, but we know that you're not Dolphin Chris. I don't know why it removed. Me either. It's probably Illuminati. Let's see here. Next up is Mason, but I believe Mason had to go to bed because it was like 5:18 in the morning. Where do you live? Hey, Quartz, how's it going? Circus Baby is up, but I said I would honestly enjoy it if you made your podcast. It would be so enjoyable and entertaining. I have a podcast. I'm just backdated on the episodes, but I think we have 56 episodes uploaded on Apple iTunes Store, Google Play, the Anchor, Podbean. We've got it at quite a few places. You should check it out. If you go to askawizardmagic.com, you can sign up for the free personality test if you're interested in doing that kind of thing. And also, you can check out my podcast, which is linked up there. Basically, everything you need is over there. And if you'd like to get added to the list right now for free readings, all you need to do is share the stream and give this video a thumbs up so that we get that nice algorithm boost and get some eyeballs up in here. Next up on the list is Circus Baby. Circus Baby, your reading is imminent. Let's get your reading going. I was thinking about having the readings after the lecture. I think that might be a better way of doing the readings rather than doing readings, lecture, readings, because it kind of feels abrupt. I think if we get the lecture out in the beginning, and then we can do the readings, I can just go as long as there's people who want readings. That might be a better way of doing things. Or maybe you can do some like 1-card readings in the beginning and then the 3-card readings later on. What do you guys think? Let me know. Tyler, do you have a Discord? I do, but I don't have a group set up yet. I'm working on that. What do you do in your free time? I don't have free time. I work a full-time job. I practice magic. I'm a member of the Magic Castle. I read philosophy. I do a stream, and I research property and land, and that's basically all. Oh, and I watch anime for 1 hour a day with Alex, Monday through Friday. Those are the things that I do with my life. Occasionally, I eat food too. I got to check that out. Thanks, no problem at all. Circus Baby, what are you looking for reading about? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll get your reading going shortly. But yeah, basically my free time is doing this. I love doing wizardry. That's my art. That's what I do. And so that's why I do what I do. Circus Baby's just looking for a general reading, it looks like. Awesome. You kind of look like my brother. Well, tell your brother that I think he's cool. One card group intention reading to prepare the mindset for the lecture. Then, oh goodness. They don't like you, Matt. The second I went to read your comment, they immediately said, do you want to put Matt on a timeout? No, I don't. Prepared the mindset for the lecture, and then 3-card personal readings after the lecture. Awesome. All right, let's do it. Lol fam, I don't know 2 fam. Okay, awesome. Sounds good. Hey, Tyler, I remember yesterday I asked you about white figures, but recently they have been everywhere and more vivid. Yeah, you were mentioning that. So just as it's a pretty common experience, especially during different transition periods in your life, going to a new job, going to a new school. You will have dreams, sometimes even vivid feelings of dread and terror. This is typically the death sequence, and that isn't in a horrible way, not a scary way. It's old parts of yourself having to die off, and your subconscious kind of freaks out because your subconscious, the parts that have to die off, feel like they are dying, but in reality, it's letting go of old parts of yourself to make room for new things to grow out. So I wouldn't be too concerned with it. However, I would write the dreams down and the experiences you're having down, and then analyze them so that your conscious mind is aware and your subconscious mind is aware that you're giving them the credit that they are due and giving them the respect that they deserve. That would be my recommendation. All right, Circus Baby. What do we got here? Looking into the past, we've got the 3 of Wands. You know what? I'm going to have to get a philosopher involved here because I am feeling like I need some help. Mr. Socrates, would you be so kind? I know, I was trying to go out there and be gutsy, guys. I know, I was trying to do it myself. Should have relied on your help. I know. You know me. All right, looking into the past, what we see here for you, Circus Baby, not Dolphin Chris secretly wants a reading. Oh, does he? Well, if he wants a reading, let me know. It's not Dolphin Chris. The 3 of Wands, Circus Baby, is about growth in the emotions. So what this is saying, or growth in your principles. And so what this is saying is that in the past, you went through a period where you really had to develop and grow what you believed in. You kind of went through this very unique phase in your life where, interestingly enough, you kind of like sat down and said like, what kind of person do I want to be? And that's kind of interesting. It's very, very odd indeed, because most people don't do that. While it might have felt normal for you, like, well, what do I want to be? Most people don't experience that kind of thing in life. And so by doing that and really starting the foundations of like, if it wasn't so much of what I don't, it's not what life I want. It's not what I want from life, who I want to get, all of these things. It was just, what do I want to be? And that's very different. Most people are like, I want a nice car, or I want to be rich, and I want to be successful, or I want to live on a private island. But you didn't do that. And so that's very unique. And because of that, you're actually led into an interesting decision that most people don't end up making until it's a little too late in life, where it's, what choice do I want to make in the material sense? And so what we see popping up here is the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is a choice regarding the material. And what that is saying is, you are at a crossroads currently where you're like, I know what I want, but also there's this thing called money that I really want to make sure I can get enough of to stay alive. And so you're at this weird crossroad in your life where you're like, okay, can I actually live this life that I've established that I want to be in the past? Or do I have to make some sacrifices and meet myself in the middle? Or is there some secondary path that I'm missing? Could I work a job and do my dreams? Could I do a little half and half? Could I work a part-time job and follow what I believe in? And so that's kind of where we find you at right now, is this crossroads here, and trying to decide what the right thing is. So if that's sounding accurate for you, let me know in the comments below, Circus Baby. And if not, that's perfectly fine. Just let me know and we will move on. We'll adjust accordingly. But if it is accurate, we'll move on to the next steps. Circus Baby drops some interesting emojis, but I'm not sure what those mean. What do we got going on here? No quartz does. I did want to ask if there's anything you know about black dark figures just around. Yeah, that's what I was discussing there. There's the psychological manifestations. I mean, there's also the potential of spirits, but if there are spirits, just tell them to get lost. You're a human being. You're made in the image of God. You're far more powerful than that, and you don't have to deal with those things in your life. It's kind of awesome because you have logos. No, quartz does. He told me. Interesting. Well, I'll let you guys speak for yourselves. I have a good rule. I don't let other people speak for other people. Anytime someone goes like, did you know that so-and-so hates you? I'm like, okay, well, if they hate me, they'll let me know, and I'm not going to believe what you're saying. No, trust me, they hate you. Really? That's bizarre. LolFam gives weird emoji faces. I'm sorry, but who is Logos? Logos is is a name for Christ, for the truth, the light, the way, Christianity, the Lord, the Word made flesh. It's the Greek word for, it's not, it kind of means logic, but it means more than logic. It's kind of like the logic of the universe, the supreme, the alpha, the omega, the ultimate. We don't have really a word to describe it in English outside of logos. So it's kind of hard to describe, but if you want to know more about it, Aristotle talks about it, Plato talks about it, Socrates talks about it, Jesus talks about it, Jesus is it. So that's the word logos. No problem at all. I'm so sorry, but who is Logos? No problem at all. Circus Baby, is this sounding accurate for you? Let me know. Is it bad if I believe in Christ fully, but just don't go to church? Yeah, no, that's not a problem at all. The church is wherever two Christians meet to discuss the Lord. In fact, there's a lot of reasons for people to not be wanting to go to church right now. There's a lot of compromised organizations in the church, and it's difficult for people to trust them. It's like, okay, so you want me to trust you. Yeah, so what do you stand for? We stand for the embodiment of truth and logos. Okay, cool. So what do you guys believe? Well, we think that this world is a temporary time that we spend here, that this is a realm that's ruled by Satan, and our job is to just build the beautiful, the good, and the true, and to really just defend that stance and hold our ways out until we get to the kingdom of God in the afterlife. Awesome, great. So I want to go to church. Oh, you can't. Wait, why? Well, you see, we closed up. How come? Well, we get funding from the government, and they told us that we had to close up. What? Yeah. We got to close up because we don't want to lose our government money. Who do you serve again? Logos, God, Jesus Christ. what? And so there's a lot of people who are really, really off put by that right now. So what I would recommend doing is there are churches that don't do that. There's a very small amount of them, and work on reading the Bible. That would be where I would start. Check out the Action Bible. Stay social distancing. Yeah. So Circus Baby Circus Baby said yes. This is sounding accurate. Me and not Dolphin Chris decided we want readings. Awesome. Well, let me know in the comments below for yourselves, and I will get you guys readings. So the next steps that we see here for you, Circus Baby, is the Magician. The Magician card is very interesting to see popping up for you here. And what this is saying is to accept the fact that you are very uniquely gifted and in a very specific position where you can kind of get the best of both worlds. You have the energy right now to balance the material, the logical, what you believe in, and your emotions in such a way where you can go and make a living and pursue what you love at the same time. You can do both. The Magician card is about balancing all of those concepts together and getting the energy to really just act out in the world and to start really accomplishing what you're trying to strive for here. So what I would recommend doing is don't worry about choosing between one or the other. Choose both. Get a job and pursue what you love at the same time and see how that works out for you, because maybe it's going to take 10 years before what you love becomes what you want for a career. Maybe it takes 6 months. You don't know. So rather than worrying about that, do both. Gain skills that can make you money and ideally complement what you want to do with yourself in the future. And so that would be my recommendation for you, Circus Baby. I hope that helps you out. I'm assuming based on your name, you're debating between whether or not you should be a trapeze artist or a doctor. So let me know how that goes for you. Maybe you could become a doctor on site at the circus for the trapeze people who fall off. Then you can get experience with them there and use their trapeze when they're away. Yeah, I'm unique. I have an underbite. That's a good joke. I like that. I don't know what that would mean for anything, but let me tell you, if you're ever worried about being held back by anything, whether that's physical or a mental or any ailment of any sort, just remember Dionysus was a deranged homeless person who lived in a box and was essentially like a wild animal. And he's considered to be one of the greatest philosophers who ever lived and was known for being approached by Alexander the Great, who walked up to him and said, I've heard you're a great philosopher. I want to give you whatever you wish. And Dionysus said to him, I wish that you would get out of my son. So he's kind of a legend. So don't beat yourself up. There is great people who have done great things in every single walk of life. You are not limited by any of those things. In fact, they can be your defining characteristics and make you fantastic. Some would argue that Nietzsche's writing style was devised because of his crippling disorders. He had to write in short bursts because of his medical illnesses. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Question: what does that do when you call on a philosopher with certain cards? I have a memory palace in my head, which is a mnemonic system, and so I've created what's called a paracosm. It's a fantasy world in my head, and then I store the different books that I've read into the persona of different philosophers. So I've got Aristotle, I got Plato, I've got Diogenes, I've got, which I was just calling him Dionysus this whole time, Diogenes. We've got Paracelsus, we've got Marcus Aurelius, and a whole bunch of different philosophers up there. And then I go there and then I say, hey, can you help me out? And so I'm using my imaginative state to bring out the wisdom from those words. That's how it works. It's a psychological process called a paracosm. Circus Baby says, wash your hands. What? Why are we saying wash my hands? Oh, because of the kimchi. Yeah, I had kimchi earlier. Believe it or not, I already actually did wash my hands. It's just kimchi doesn't go away. It's there forever. You can soap it, you can hot water it, you can sanitize it. Just it's there. It's gone. It's chili oil. It's over. But it's delicious. Who's next? Oh, that's a great question. Let's find out. Next is you, Dark B. I think that was a passive-aggressive question. Let's get your reading going, and then we'll get the lecture started after that. And if we have more readings, let me know in the comments below for yourself, not for others, if you'd like a reading, and I will add you to the list as well. Dark B, you are up. And then later tonight, or well, after this reading, we're going to be having a reading that was requested by one of the owls, which is how to utilize reading, writing, and speech. So we're going to be talking about that today. We got a comment and it was asking, hey, I'm trying to motivate myself to start reading. I'm finding it difficult to do that. Can you give me some advice? Tell me how to read better, how to utilize these things. So we're going to be talking about the 3 weapons of Logos today that really, if you master these skills, it's the most powerful skill set you can have. Circus Baby has to go. Goodbye, Circus Baby. Have a good day. It's one of the most powerful skills that you can really master as a human. It gives you more power and more change has been brought about using these 3 skills than any weapon of war. It's an incredible set of skills that are within the reach of any person. It just requires the discipline to commit yourself to becoming excellent at them. Dark B, are you looking for a reading? Let me know what you would like a reading regarding, and we'll get your reading started shortly. Boom. All right. What do we got here? Mr. Marcus Aurelius, would you be so kind? Thank you so much, sir. Okay. What do we got? Dark B says yes. Is there anything in particular you're looking for a reading about, Dark B? Let me know. A Dark B is a very interesting name. When I hear Dark B, I think of like a superhero or a supervillain. The Dark B. He's coming for us. He'd be like the worst superhero. You know what he'd be? He'd be the Naruto side quest filler character whose jutsu is 100% going to kill him no matter what. He's going to die, and no matter how hard he tries, no matter what you do, this is an unstoppable attack. If he does it once, there's no way he can live, and every single person will fall to this ultimate attack. And then he does the attack, and then somehow he lives anyway because Naruto. All right, so Dark B's just looking for a still more useful than Sakura. That's true. That is very true. It always infuriated me how many times it's like, the Crystal Rainbow Bender, who's going to be in this show for 1 episode, who has the ultimate attack that can defeat anybody, but it sacrifices themselves. And then they do it, and it never works. Never. It never works. Dark B's just looking for a general reading. Let us begin. So looking into the past here, what we see is the 6 of Wands. So the 6 of Wands here is about grind in the principle. So this is saying in the past here, you went through a time that was pretty rough where you had to stick with what you believed in, stick to your principles. And there was a lot of opposite here. People are telling you, like, trying to peer pressure you here, really. Telling you, no, this is the right way. This is the good way. You have to do it this way. And you're just saying, like, no. I know what the truth is. I'm not going to fall for those tricks. I'm not going to listen to that kind of nonsense, and really sticking with what you believed in here. And so while this was a grind, it is, as you can see, very noble and very strong position to be in, and really being the kind of person who can bring an agent of peace and calmness while still sticking up with what you believe in is a unique skill set to have. A good gift to exert. So very awesome to see popping up there for you, Dark B. Now, walking into the present, we do see a pretty difficult time. I'm assuming you're probably going through some pretty rough stuff here. We see the 10 of Swords. Now, the 10 of Swords is about the completion of an intellectual chapter in our life. This is where we gain information that otherwise kind of makes us feel like we got stabbed in the back. We feel like, wow, how could I be so stupid? How did I not see that? How did I not know? And so this revelation of information, but it can also just be revealing information that overall is just not good. It's painful. It's just difficult to gain and to take that truth. What's good about this is it is the completion of that story, though. So it's saying that while this is a painful emotion to get, while this is a difficult time, you are getting the end of the chapter so that there's a new story about to begin. So while this is a painful time to go through, don't be too concerned about it because you are now starting a new story and you're going to be able to get out of this period and learn from that pain, learn from that wisdom, and bring that into your next steps. And so that's kind of where we find you at right now, Dark B. Is this sounding accurate for you? Let me know in the comments below. And if not, that's perfectly fine. We will adjust accordingly. Michelle Kookie10 says, hello. Hi, how's it going, Michelle? Lolfam says, shooting star. Thank you very much. Is this sounding accurate for you, Mr. Dark B? By the way, if you guys are here, please give this thing a thumbs up. Let's boost it up, the YouTube algorithm, and give it a share so that we can get the eyeballs up in here. Love to spread the logos to people, and I don't know, maybe 76,000 thumbs up would be a good goal. What do you guys think? 30 trillion? 30 trillion thumbs up seems like a reasonable estimate. What do you think? Dark B, Dark B, Dark B says yes. Awesome, Dark B. Sounding accurate. Glad to hear this is sounding on point. And the next steps are beautiful. I'm really happy to see these popping up. Can you tell me my future, please? Or do I have to do something in order for you to do it? Well, Michelle, I don't tell the future. I'm not a psychic. I'm a wizard. So what I can do is identify patterns of the past, identify where you're at currently in the present, and then from that I can say, hey, based on these patterns here and based on the patterns that I'm seeing now, this is the likely outcome for the future. My brother saw you were doing tarot cards and wanted a reading. Nice. Awesome. Well, tell him that he's more than welcome to get one. Yeah, so if you, so the problem with telling the future is if I come up, I was like, all right, Michelle, on 2:30 p.m., a deranged mongoose will fall forth from a tree and shimmy his way up your sleeve of your shirt and give you a nibble. You'd be like, all right, so I'm just going to go ahead and avoid trees around 2:30 p.m. I'm just going to kind of lock myself in my room. And then, you know, you wouldn't get attacked by a mongoose, and then you will have changed the future. So if I could tell you the future, it would change the future. So it doesn't really work, and that's kind of what I'm trying to help you do. You're the hero of your own story. You're not locked into destiny. When you gain this wisdom, you can make your life, if your life is heading for a tragedy, you're the hero of your story. You can change that tragedy around, and that's a good thing to know. Learn the story that you're on, become the hero, not an NPC, and move forward on your hero's journey. It's one of the memes that I really enjoy. Sorry, let's get back to your reading here, Dark Beast. So the next steps, which is great to see popping up here, I'm really happy to see this, is the Queen of Wands. So why I'm really happy to see this card popping up here is it's saying, hey, Dark B, let's just be patient right now. While it seems like these things, and that's the black cat representing this, while it seems like a lot of negative things are happening and just honestly bad luck, frustration, annoyance, and just overall just kind of sucky times, what this is saying is be patient, stick to your principles, keep doing the truth, follow the truth, stick with logos, stick with what you believe in, do the right thing, even though it feels like some negative things are happening, while you stick through your principles. You stuck with your principles before, and it feels like you got stabbed in the back, and you're just like, gosh, this sucks. This card is a great omen, and what it's saying is the judgment of what you're looking at that feels like a bad thing right now, you're going to realize, and this is where the sunflower comes into play, that it's actually working for you. While it may feel like these are bad things happening right now, you're going to see the judgment come into action for the people who attacked you, and you're going to see how all these negative things that are happening now actually set the foundation for really great things and abundance to grow. So be on the lookout, keep following the truth. At worst, by sticking with your principles and doing what you know to be true, the worst case scenario is you'll look back and say, hey, at least I was the kind of person who stuck with my principles. And that is a very powerful position to be in. You can't lose from that point because at least you can still respect yourself. So stick it out. You got this, Dark B. I hope the best for you, and I hope that you make all the best honey in the world. And hopefully it is the dark honey that they have at Costco that tastes so good because your name is Dark B. All right, let us get these lectures going. I saw somebody asking for a reading. We're going to be doing the lecture here, and then we're going to be doing more readings, so we'll be doing those afterwards. catch up with the chat here real quick. Can I get a reading or do I have to do something? If you share the stream, give the stream a thumbs up. Basically, just help us get some more people in here. It's an honor system. You know, I trust you. Help us grow and ideally share us with people who are cool and awesome. That's how you get qualified for a free reading, but it is totally honor system. Some Berry Bee Benson honey. Yes, there we go. You nailed it. Arwen said she has. Arwen says she has a brother that is looking for a reading. Let me know when. I'll add him to the list. Just let me know once he says that he would like a reading. Can you please tell me your future? Boom, boom. Awesome. All right. Yeah, like jazz? Yes, kind of. Oh no, chat is frozen. All right, so let us get the lecture started right now. We are caught up with the stream. We've got Michelle on the list. Let us begin. So we're going to be learning today about the value of reading. He said whenever it's fine, Lachina is his name. Lachalin. Let me get him on the list here. Lachalin. Awesome. So, the 3 weapons of Logos. Now, there are different weapons of Logos. Lachlan. Let me write that down. Lachlan. All right. So, the weapons of Logos. Lachlan? Oh, my goodness. Well, we'll get it when we get to the reading. All right, so 3 weapons of Logos. There are different weapons of Logos that are outside of the 3 that I'm going to discuss today, but these are 3 very, very powerful weapons of Logos that you can apply and everyone can apply in their life right now to start making themselves a more powerful and a more effective person. If you learn and cultivate the skills that we're going to talk about right now, you are more powerful than a person with a gun. You are more powerful than a person with a bomb. You are more powerful than many nations of people, which has been proven throughout thousands and thousands of years of history. In fact, some of those weapons are written right behind me right now. For example, Plato, the Bible, Machiavelli's The Prince, Sun Tzu's The Art of War. These are some of the examples of these 3 weapons being applied effectively, and that's what we're going to be teaching you today. The 3 weapons of Logos we'll be discussing are how to read, how to write, and how to speak. If you can master these 3 skills and do them well, you are one of the most formidable forces that a human being can be, and you can enact change in the world. Stephen says hello. Hello, Stephen. How are you doing? So, how do we start? Well, the beginning, and this is based off of a question that came in from one of the owls. An owl came in and said, hey, I know that I need to learn how to read more. I need to be gaining wisdom from books, but it's really hard for me to motivate myself to read. I find it difficult, and so this stream is designed to help give you the motivation to read. What do? I'm a wizard. Stick around. You might enjoy. If you'd like a wizard reading after the lecture, by the way, Stephen, simply share the stream and thumbs up this video, and I'll add you to the list. And let me know that you want a reading, of course. So the first step towards motivating yourself to start reading more is, in your comment I saw, you said, I can't read. It's very difficult for me to read. And I'm going to challenge you on that because this generation is the generation that has read more than any other generation in all of human history. And while you might be saying, Tyler, that's not true. People read so many more books. That's true. They did read better and higher quality information. That's a fact. However, what is also true is they didn't have social media, Discord, instant messenger, email, text. Those things didn't exist. And so people are actually, my friend told me to join this live. Well, your friend is awesome. Tell them your friend that they're cool. So you are actually processing and reading a lot more than people would have done even 50 years ago. And so you definitely are reading. It's more about the quality of what you're reading. So you're getting used to small dopamine hits from what you read rather than the long-term payoffs of reading complex literature. So, if you want to learn more about that, check out the Life, a strategy guide video, where we talk more in depth about dopamine there. But this lecture is going to help you identify why there is value in that great literature that you're struggling to read. And so the beginning phases of reading should start out with your principles and your axiom. So why are you reading what you're reading? What do you want to know from the book that you're trying to read? For example, if it's a nonfiction book, you would want to ask yourself, what do I need to know, or what do I want to know after I complete this book? So if I was reading a book, say, for example, Ogilvy's My Life in Advertising, my goal after reading that book would be to understand the concepts of advertising better than I did before I read the book. That would be my axiom. That's my goal. And if you're reading nonfiction, or fiction, for example, like Lord of the Rings, your question might be, what are the lessons that I want to learn from this book? That might be the question. What lessons is this book trying to teach me? And that would be to more, with fiction, you kind of want to broaden your mind and experience it almost like a movie. A fiction book is more or less a training exercise for developing paracosms. And there's an active pursuit in society to stop people from developing paracosms today. That's why it's very difficult for people to read. And that's why you see reading plummeting so often as of late. So fight against that and develop your paracosm. Somebody is saying inappropriate stuff, so we're going to ban you for life. Hold on, just going to go ahead and boom, you're banned for life. You will never have to speak here again. Woo! Awesome. Thank you very much, Stephen. I'll add you to the list. Boom, you are on the list, Stephen. Sweet. So that's the first step, is figuring out why you're reading what you're reading. What is the goal that you're trying to attain from that? And set that as your highest ideal. So that is the start. That's the starting point. The second step that you're going to do is actually begin reading the book. Now that you know why you're reading and you have a purpose for what you're reading, you can begin to read. Now, when you read, you don't just sit down and read the book. You need to read the book with a notepad and a pencil and or something to write down. Now, it doesn't have to be a pencil and paper. You could do it on your phone. But what's key here is, and what actually, here's a little fun tip if you are interested in this. Google Sheets, Google Docs is a phone app that lets you literally type onto a Word doc. That it's exactly like Microsoft Word. Google Sheets functions the same way, but it's mobile. So you can actually take your notes right on to the Google Word and start formulating an outline with your notes on your phone while you read a book. It's really awesome, and it holds it in a cloud, and it's totally free. So highly recommend checking that out as a tool. And so as you're reading, you want to listen to your intuition, your emotions, your feelings. You're going to have moments as you're reading where you go, oh, wow, that's a good idea. Or, oh, that's interesting. I want to think about that. Rather than going off and derailing yourself and going down that whole process, capture that moment on the notepad or the paper. Write down the thought and ideas that are brought to your mind by the book as you go through the book. This is going to form a cloud of ideas, inspirations, and thoughts, and it's going to help you solidify the wisdom that you're getting from the book. Each time you read a book, you're going to gain new wisdom from that book because it's such concentrated knowledge, as we'll talk about here in just a moment, that you bring your needed information to the book. That's what your axiom is. And then as you read the book, you're extracting the wisdom that your subconscious needs to reveal to you. So those inspirations are like, oh, wow, that's a cool concept. Wow, that's an amazing idea. Or I never thought about things. Now, these might be a brief sentence. This could be an entire paragraph, right until you feel you've gotten the idea out onto the paper. Once you've done that, you can move on and continue reading. And so that is the process to engage with the reading part. As you can imagine, this isn't going to be something that you do very quickly. What I like to do personally is do one process of reading a book thoroughly in the method that I'm teaching you right now. And then in the future, I will read it through from page to page just to refresh my mind and keep the ideas at top of mind if I want to re-engage with that literature. You can also do it in the reverse. There's no reason you can't do it the other way. But to truly read it, you do need to engage in this subconscious process of extracting wisdom from the book. Now, after you've completed reading what you need to read, different insights and thoughts that were brought to your attention as you went through the book, you've already taken a first step towards starting to write. Now, this part is where the writing begins. This is the logos. Writing is actually the act of thinking. It's I would call it the final step of thinking. If you haven't written down your thoughts, in a way, you haven't actually fully thought them out yet, because it's very difficult. There are some people who can. If you put effort and concentration into, for example, the dialectic, you can. But for most people, and I would say even for people who can, it's more effective to write anyway. You need to, well, there we go. Just lost signal there. Hopefully we didn't lose too much of the stream. Are we back? Let's see here. Let me know in the comments below if we're still here. Lolfam says, oh. Steve Pro says, me too. Awesome. You're here. Welcome back. Yep, we're still here. Awesome. So where we left off there, hopefully we didn't lose all the information there. So we're reading for the insights, and then writing is the process of actually thinking and solidifying our thought. Dolphin Cry for the win. Welcome, Dolphin Cry for the win. As we write, what we're trying to do, working better now. Awesome, glad. I switched over to Cell Signal. That's my backup. Believe it or not, there was a long period of time where Facebook was actively censoring the stream and screwing with our ability to stream. So I had to rapidly change between my cell phone and my Wi-Fi just to keep the thing up, so that they would stop, because they would basically go based off of whatever IP address was being registered. It was quite frustrating. So I'd switch, have a hotspot, change my Wi-Fi signal, go back onto a new one. It was an interesting time indeed. So writing is the ability is the final step of thinking, or at least the place where it becomes solidified. And so what you have to do is write down your thoughts to really think them out, because doing them in your head, there's too much emotion, there's too much instinct, there's too much fluidity with our mind. While the creative practice is valuable, that's why we're using it while we're reading and extracting insights. While there's a benefit to doing that, we don't want that to be the be all end all. This is where most people stop thinking, is they don't write down the thoughts. And so writing catches the thoughts on paper and it stops them. They can't move. Once you've written it down, it's stuck there. And that lets you start writing them and review them and say, oh, wait, actually, that's stupid. No, that's wrong. All right, let's go back to doing this. Do you like Dolphin Cry? I don't know what that means. Writing down the thoughts, getting them on the piece of paper. And that's a great idea. Oh, that's a bad idea. Oh, this is this one. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, maybe I should write it a different way. What if we try the word here and we try the word there? And so once it's written down, you can start playing with the variables and flipping them around and messing with them. Lagging for me. Is it lagging for anyone else? Hopefully it's not. It's getting laggy. Dang it. Oh, that's frustrating. Unfortunately, not much I can do about it because my Wi-Fi guy is coming next Wednesday. So until then, we just have a crappy internet that kicks the bucket every, I don't know, hour or so. And so, where were we? That being said, so we're writing down our thoughts, capturing them on paper. Now, how do we solidify those thoughts into a logical format? Well, there's a lot of different ways to do this. It kind of depends on what you're trying to write. The one that I like the most personally is the model that's proposed by Aristotle and also by Plato and also by Socrates in their various works. And so what you would do is an introductory statement. That's the reason I am writing this is to try and solve this problem, the problem being your axiom that we started with in the beginning. Then you're going to go through 3 separate phases and take as much or as little time as necessary. Just write what needs to be written to accomplish the goal into the 3 different steps. So the first step is what's called the ethos. The ethos is where you establish that you are credible to continue to read and listen to because you're familiar with the body of work that is available. So this is where you're basically citing what has other people who are very knowledgeable in this topic said about the topic, and what do they believe about the topic as well. So that's your first step, is establishing that, hey, I'm familiar with what other people who are successful in this field have said. The second step is the logos phase. Now, these two can be switched. Sometimes pathos is better, sometimes logos is better, but we're just going to go with logos for right now. So logos is where you, after having established that you have read the relevant literature on the topic that you want to discuss, why did you ban Dolphin Chris? If you talk about sex, if you talk about politics, if you talk about anything controversial, if you talk about race, if you talk about gender, any topic like that at all, you will be banned for life from the chat, regardless of who you are in any regards. There are no exceptions to the rule. So that would be why. So if you got banned, we have banned over 15,000 people. We have had false bannings in the past. Happens quite often, to be honest. And if you want to get a new name, you can do that and come back. If you're an owl, I recommend having version 2 or some other goofy name to embrace the fact that you have been banned. Hello. Hey, how's it going? So the logos is where you, after having read the relevant literature and the ethos, then formulate your own thoughts. What is your beliefs based on a logical argument? So you want to formulate that, what's called the dialectic, but more or less, if you're not familiar with the dialectic, you're just simply saying, what do I personally think from a logical perspective about this question based on what I have read, based on the relevant literature? This is the thoughts that I now have about this question I initially asked. This is what I believe. Then finally, you will address it with the pathos. The pathos is then saying, based on this logos, based on this ethos, based on this question, these are the feelings that I have about this particular question. These are the emotions that I'm currently feeling. Gotta go? No problem. I'll see you later. These are the emotions I'm feeling about this. This is how I feel about it, and this is a compelling argument for why I think other people should agree with the way that I believe, and that's the emotional argument. Once you've done those 3 steps, the final step is what's called the conclusion, and that's simply a restatement of, hey, this is what I read. This is the question I started with. This is what I read. Based on what I've read, this is the thoughts that I've come to, and these are the conclusion. In the end, this is what I've come to believe. And then ideally, you would want to end that with either a demonstration of why you believe is true, or a parable, or both. You can do either or, basically. You could do a parable and a demonstration. You could do just a parable, or you could do just a demonstration. But you want to demonstrate that what you believe is true in the real world by giving an example. That's the most effective form of persuasion. And so that's how you write. That's one way of writing. There's tons of other ways to write. But once you've done that, you will actually know a topic. That's when you can truly say, I understand and know something. So those 3 steps. Then finally, how do we weaponize all this knowledge? That's the final step, and that is speech. Speech is where we take all the things that we just did, we condense them down into a nice, presentable format, and then we administer them to other people. And that is the ultimate way of really, really making your knowledge concrete in your mind. Teaching other people and engaging with other people is one of the most effective ways to really master some knowledge. And the methods for doing that, I would recommend Aristotle's book, Rhetoric, and then the book Dale Carnegie's Public Speaking. Those 2 books will teach you about how to do public speaking effectively. In summation, basic principles are, it's the same thing as your writing. You want to start with your ethos, establish why people should listen to what you have to say. Then you want to make a logical argument. Then you want to make an emotionally compelling argument. And then finally surmise with a demonstration and a metaphor. And so that's all speech is. It's just the verbalization and the condensing down of the written form for public consumption. And that is how you really remember your topic and relearn the topic and really make it deep wisdom. And so that's it. That is why I recommend that you read. This is what I hope motivates you to start reading more, gain more wisdom, gain more information, and start acting in the world. This sounds like a lot of work. This sounds difficult. And I'm not going to lie, it is. It really is difficult. However, the payoff to know is that every person that's here on this wall behind me, and everyone over on that entire wall over here, and everyone on that entire wall over there, and everyone on this wall over here is there because they went through that process, because they changed the world by going through the process I just taught you how to do. So if you can master this, 2,000, 3,000 years later, people will be possibly sitting down looking at what you thought and what you believed because you managed to change the world by mastering this skill set. So that is my argument for you for reading, and I hope that that helps you. And, the pen is mightier than the sword. I don't know if that's entirely true, but I do know that the logos written down with the pen after you've read a lot and then spoken to the world is certainly mightier than the sword, as is demonstrated by the Bible and as is demonstrated by Plato and Socrates and Aristotle and Marcus Aurelius and all the great minds of our generations. Christ is a masterful speaker. Understatement of the year. Just kidding. And so that is the lecture for you guys today. Now we're going to close up here with some more readings. We had a few readings on here. We have Zach and Steven. Michelle. Michelle, Zach, and Steven. Are you guys still here? Let me know in the comments below. We will get your reading started shortly. Michelle, if you're still here, your reading is up next. Then followed by Zach. Oh, wait, no, it's not Zach. It's Zachland. This is the one that we were struggling with the name with. If you're still here, let me know in the comments below. Christ is a masterful speaker. Yes, he is indeed. Hello, Jack. Hello, Jack. I don't know why I feel like saying it like that, but I like that name. It's a good name. Jack is a solid name. I like that name. That's a good name. It's just so sturdy. So, yes. Jack is a man that I feel like I could trust. You know, if Jack came in and was like, it's going to cost you $13.45, I wouldn't question him for a second. I would assume that man did his math. Steven says yes. Awesome. Welcome, Steven. Michelle, I'm still here. I told my mom if I could stay awake for a while. Awesome. All right, Michelle. Well, you are up. Let's get your reading going right now. If you talk about my brother, it's Lachlan. Awesome. All right, Lachlan, it is. All right. I knew we'd get to you, bud. All right, let's get Michelle. Anything in particular you're looking for a reading about, Michelle? Let me know in the comments below. We'll get your reading started shortly. Despite the technical difficulties, the constant phone falling, the disheveled approach, the notifications going out at 8:58, and the late stream, I think we got through this. We survived. We survived the stream. This is awesome. What do you guys think? Was this good for you guys? You liking the wisdom? Let me know in the comments below if this is helpful for you and you feel like it's going to give you guys some insights. This is why I do it. Michelle says, thinky face. I don't know. My brain cells are not helping. I'm going to read about Christ. Good night, Tyler. And wonderful group. Well, thank you very much, Matthew. Enjoyed that because I can't think of anything better. A really fun one. If you've read the Bible or if you ever find yourself struggling to get through the Bible, and don't feel bad about that. Okay, guys, you might be like, did you just say struggling to get through the Bible? That's a sin. Are you saying you hate the Word of God? No. I'm not saying that. It's okay. The Bible is one of the most powerful and complicated forms of literature on the planet. Probably the most complicated form of literature on the planet. It has more depth than anything you could imagine. You can spend a week on a simple phrase. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed by that, that's okay. check out the Action Bible. The Action Bible is the Bible in comic book form. I find it really powerful, really compelling, very engaging with the right brain rather than the left brain, which is required of the Bible. Well, you need both for the Bible, to be honest. But I really enjoy it, and it's a lot more relaxed. I would recommend checking that out if you're into reading that stuff. You can give it for someone else. Haha, I can't think of one. I can just give you a general reading, Michelle. That works too. Hello, Tyler. How's it going? I think your name's awesome. Yep, want some apple cinnamon tea? No, not particularly. All right, Michelle, let us begin your general reading. Are you sure? Or did you want me to do general reading or no? Just let me know and we will move on. I'm going to try switching back here. Boom. I think that we might have Wi-Fi again. All right, so what we have popping up here for you, Michelle, is the Three of Swords. So looking into the past, what we're seeing is learning some painful information that, quite frankly, was a little difficult for us to learn. It was not the best experience. We went through a tough time here, and that wisdom really hurt. It kind of hurt our heart, but it was good that we gained that wisdom and we were able to grow from it and move forward. However, what I see walking into the present is we're a little worried now because of this thing that betrayed us in the past. I just making some tea and found my old apple cinnamon. Awesome. Congratulations. So the Five of Diamonds is the disruption of logos. So because we had a bad experience in the past that kind of hurt our feelings, we're finding it difficult to trust other people now. And so now we're like, well, if that happened in the past, how do I know it's not going to happen again? And so that's kind of where we find you at now, is in this state of how do I get past this? How do I keep moving forward in the world, knowing that people can cause me this kind of pain and not wanting to have that pain happen again, but knowing I also kind of need to keep moving forward in the world. So that's kind of this weird dilemma that we find yourselves in. Is this sounding accurate for you? Let me know in the comments below, Michelle. If this is not sounding accurate for you, just let me know and we will adjust accordingly. And then after Michelle is going to be Lachlan. Lachlan, you are up next. And then after Lachlan will be Stephen. And that will be our readings for tonight. So if you're here, let me know if there's anything in particular you'd like a reading about. Ben 10 God. Hey, how's it going, Ben 10? Michelle, yeah, it is. Have you been stalking me? No, I have not. I am just a wizard. That's what I do. So glad to hear that this is sounding on point for you. I'm sorry to hear you're going through this time, though. It does sound pretty painful. However, we're going to move on to the next steps here to see how to take steps forward. And what we see popping up for you here is the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is about taking action in the material. And so what's hard about this is the answer to what we need to do is we kind of just have to take action in the world. We can't let the pain of the past hold us back. We have to realize there are bad people in the world. There are people who will hurt us. And so rather than trying to avoid that situation and not involve ourselves with that and to just get away from all of that, instead, we have to become the kind of person who is strong enough to tolerate that and to defeat that and to overcome that. So the answer isn't to protect ourselves by avoiding, it's instead to become the kind of person who is strong enough to endure and challenge that. So, and if you yourself aren't strong enough, then build the bonds of friendships until you have a community and a group of people that do make you strong enough to do that. You don't have to do this alone. You know, Frodo didn't take the ring to Mordor on his own. He assembled the team, the Fellowship of the Ring, to help him get to Mordor. So that would be my recommendation for you, is to don't try to avoid it. Don't try to prevent this. Obviously, take steps to prevent it from happening again in the future, but do not try to avoid interacting with other people in your life just because, well, one person hurt me, so how can I know that this won't happen again? It probably will. So instead, become the kind of person who can defeat that, see it coming in advance, and protect yourself. That would be my recommendation for you. I hope it helps you out. I know it's a hard piece of information to get, but that is the advice that the Stoics would give. That's the advice that Plato would give, and that's the advice that I am going to give for you tonight. I hope that helps you out and gives you some insights. My good friend Darkbee went to go to sleep. Well, tell your friend Darkbee good night, and I hope that his honey is fantastic. Awesome. All right, so next up on the list, we have Lachlan and Steven. Lachlan and Steven, if you guys are here, let me know in the comments below, and we'll get your reading started shortly. And if not, that's perfectly fine. Just let me know. Or I guess you wouldn't let me know. We will wrap up the stream because it looks like I've already gone 18 minutes over. Arwen is saying that her brother is here. Awesome. All right, so we are already over, but let's get Lachlan's reading going. He says, hello. Hello, Lachlan. How are you doing? And then after that, we have Steven. Steven, if you're still here, let me know in the comments below if you'd like a reading, and we will get your reading started after Lachlan. Anything in particular Lachlan's looking for a reading regarding? Let me know. Let me know. Boom. Do-do-do-do-do. What do you guys think of the new angle? Is this effective? Do you guys is it okay with me holding up just the single cards one at a time? How do you guys feel about that? Is that better for you? Is it more visible for you guys? I have to have the camera sideways at some point in the future here so that it's not constantly this weird vertical thing on YouTube. But I want to make sure that you guys enjoy it. That's the main thing. Steven says, yes, he likes it this way. Awesome. Says, good, and you? Awesome. He says he's doing well. He said, this is his first time with readings. He doesn't know much. Awesome. Let's just give him a general reading then. Sweet. So, looking into the past here, well, let's get a philosopher involved here. I've been doing a lot of solo Q on this stream today. I need to calm down. I'm overworking myself. I need to rely on you guys. You're better at it than me anyway. Mr. Aristotle, would you be so kind? Show them the gifts of Logos that I definitely don't have anywhere near as good as you. Oh, my goodness. Looking into the past here, what we see is the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is about a grind in the principles, a grind in the emotions. And so we're seeing you going through a period where you really have to stick to your principles and, whoa, okay. I'm getting an intuitive feeling here that this isn't so much about the principles per se. This is more, gosh, what is that? It's odd. The thing that comes to my mind is like almost the rules, like the rules of a video game or the rules of a game. Other people are not being honest. Other people being dishonest and violating the rules, and you didn't. You did the right thing, but despite the fact that you did the right thing, it kind of felt like they were getting away with doing some shady business. I don't think it's cheating necessarily. It's just they were not being very honest. They weren't playing very fair. That's the intuitive feeling I'm getting here. I don't know why. That's not what the card says. That's just kind of the feeling that's coming to my mind. Now, walking into the present, what we see popping up here is the Queen of Wands. So this is another great, we saw this card pop up earlier. This is a great card to see. And judged on my intuitive feeling that I just got there for you, Lachlan, this is saying that be prepared that while it does feel like there's some unfair business going on here in the past where they're getting away with things and getting an unfair advantage and just kind of cheating their way through situations right now, Baldean client owners, oh, now we have to go and ban you again. Come on, man. We don't talk about sex. We do not talk about politics. We do not talk about politics, sex, race, gender, anything controversial. We do not talk about that in the stream. If you do, doesn't matter who you are, you will be banned for life. Please do not do that. There's plenty of other streams to do that. Go find those ones. This is not what this is for. So the Queen of Wands here is about patience with the spirit, or patience with the spirit. And so this is saying, looking back on all that stuff that they were getting away with, it's actually not them getting away with it. You're going to see that that really bites them in the butt in the future here. And you are going to actually get a lot of abundance by being the person who stuck with your principles and did the right thing. So that would be my recommendation for you, is just be patient, keep doing the right thing, stick with your principles, and try not to get too upset about seeing these people who are kind of just trying to sneak their way through and things. It's just kind of lame. And so that's kind of where I find you at right now, Lachlan. Is this sounding accurate for you? Let me know in the comments below. If not, that's perfectly fine. We will adjust accordingly. Let me know if that's sounding on point for you before we move on to the final steps. Do. Lachlan, it's your chance to respond. Apparently, we're having a problem with dolphins today. They just come in here and they're like, let's say inappropriate things. And then they come in and they're like, why did you ban people for saying inappropriate things? Because you're not supposed to do that. We mentioned that. He's saying it's saying is shocking, but very true. Glad to hear that is sounding on point for you, Lachlan. And the good news is I see a fantastic card popping up here in the next steps, which is the Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles is saying, don't worry about these guys, okay? They're goofing off. They think they're getting by. They're pulling their tricks, and you're sticking to your principles and doing the hard work. The Eight of Pentacles is saying, look, when you're in this phase right here, where you've got the principles down, you followed the rules, you did the hard work, you made the failures and did the real work, they're going to be left behind in the dust, and you're going to be set up to be the kind of person who starts churning out value. You're the kind of person who's actually able to produce results in the real world, and guess who's going to get hired? Guess who's going to be able to start building their dreams? Guess who's going to start crushing in life? The guy who gets through the hard work sooner and makes all the mistakes earlier is the guy who's going to be way ahead in life. Most successful entrepreneurs are successful because they've failed more than other people. They've tried and failed multiple times at different things, and they gained difficult skill sets, and they developed difficult knowledge sets and talent stacks, which you can learn about on Life, a strategy guide. It's one of the lectures here on YouTube for my channel. And they did that so many times that they got ahead. So these people who think they're cheating life, you don't cheat Logos. You can think that you tricked your way through. You can think that you beat the system, but Logos always prevails in the end. You can judge the person by their fruits. So they might be getting ahead now, but trust me, in the future, you're going to find out, not so much. So that is my recommendation for you. Just keep sticking with it. Keep working hard. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Just focus on being the best you can be. Don't judge yourself against what other people are doing. Judge, where am I today and where do I want to be in the future, and am I getting closer to that or not? And if the answer is no, what can I change? If the answer is yes, give yourself a pat on the back. And that would be my recommendation for you, Lachlan. I hope that helps you out and gives you some insights today. And last up on the list, we have Steven. Steven, are you here? Let me know in the comments below, Steven, if you are still here. And we will get your reading started, and that will be the last reading for tonight. Steven says, yes. Awesome. Is there anything in particular, Steven, you're looking for a reading regarding? Let me know. He says, thank you, and thank you from me too. No problem at all, Erwin. I am glad that I was able to help you and give you some insights. By the way, if you're interested in getting a one-on-one personality test, check out AskAWizardMagic.com, where I have a free personality test there for you. However, make sure that you meet the basic requirements to sign up for the personality test. Basically, it acts as a free sample for what I do for my clients, and if you are over 18, that would be the first requirement, and if not, you'd have to have written permission from your parents. And then also you have to have taken the Myers-Briggs personality test, which is free. You can find that on 16 Personalities on Google. It's a free personality test there. And those are the 2 pieces of information you'll need to have to actually sign up for the one-on-one personality test. So if you're interested in that, check it out at AskAWizardMagic.com. As I was hanging out with him and listening, he was kind of like, see, I'm better than you, as a joke. Oh, that's not how it works. Every hero has their different strategies. You know, it's like, you don't look at Gandalf and be like, oh, Gandalf's better than Legolas. It's like, no, Legolas is gifted at different things, and Gandalf's gifted at different things. There's synergistic characteristics of every personality. So as you know people, they have different character types and different advantages and disadvantages. So it's not about being better or worse. It's just different characters. What can you do? I don't know. pretty much anything. I'm a wizard. Just what do you need insight on? What do you want advice on? Or if you just want a general reading, that works too. It's just philosophical guidance for whatever you happen to be going through. I'm going to try and fix this right now. Not fix it, but no problem at all, Erwin. What if we... Boom. There we go. Now we don't have kitchen. It's good. That's good. I like that. It's a little bit better. And then what if we get Mr. Owl like that? I think that's better. I think it gives more space. What do you guys think? General reading it is. Awesome. All right, let us begin. So what we got here is the Ace of Swords popping up for us. So the Ace of Swords is about the beginning of new wisdom. So we see you going through a process in your life where you start pursuing new knowledge and new information and pretty intense and deep topics too. Very intellectually insightful stuff. You're definitely not playing around. These are real ideas, real concepts, and kind of delving into philosophy, really. This is really cool. Now, walking into the present, what we see is the Five of Wands. So this can happen when we jump into the deep end of... Oh, there we go. My battery is low there. When we jump into the deep end of intellectual thought, it can be very disruptive. This can be a very chaotic time where we are put into a spot where it's like, what do I believe in? Is this true? What is real? What is reality? And you go into this very combative state of in yourself as you're like conflicted with new wisdom. This is a part of the bubbling of growth, though. So very powerful, compelling time. However, it can feel a bit chaotic, almost a little bit overwhelming at times. And you ask yourself probably often, like I'm sure I know for myself, I had the problem of, for most of my childhood, I was like, I'm assuming everyone else is thinking about this, right? But then whenever I talk to people, they're like, no, not really. Not thinking about that at all. I'm like, why are you? That's when I slowly started to realize, oh, people don't read books anymore. They watch flashing boxes that tell them what to think. Oh, I get it now. So it was a bit rude awakening. So you might be experiencing some similar feelings to that, where it's like, guys, what about Nietzsche's arguments though? But what about Plato? Plato already addressed this like 2000. No one cares. No one read them. Oh, okay. So you might be finding yourself kind of in that situation right now. Is this sounding accurate for you, Stephen? Giving you a little bit of insights. Let me know in the comments below if this is sounding on point for you. And if not, that's perfectly fine. We will adjust accordingly. I don't like that I can see my shadow back there. Makes me feel like I'm going to get it. One day the shadow's just going to go. We've come for you. No, get out of here. Be gone. The power of Christ compels you. Gosh, that would be my most popular stream of all time. An actual demon shows up and then I have to like go full-blown exorcist, grab the Bible and just smacking him. Oh, that'd be legit. Steven says, no. All right, Steven, where are we missing the ball? Where are we not on point so we can get you on track? Are you not go? So what we have here for the current story that we're finding right now is that you have begun a journey of learning new information, gaining new wisdom, gaining better understanding, and gaining that new knowledge and information and understanding has kind of led you into a spot where it's kind of like some internal conflicts where you're debating with yourself and trying to learn. God, I would love that, but be safe, please. I would not love that at all. I was just seeing my shadow and started thinking about all of those horrible things. So, and then this new intellectual pursuit's kind of leading into a spot where you're kind of internally debating with yourself, thinking things through, trying to come to an understanding on ideas. Which part is sounding inaccurate, Stephen? Stephen says, yes. Uh-oh. I'm getting mixed signals from Stephen. Is this sounding more on point for you? So it is sounding accurate. Maybe I just didn't communicate it well the first time because I started telling a story. That could be it. That's probably my bad. Stephen says, yes. Okay. Now, yes. Glad to hear that that's sounding on point for you. Awesome. All right. So let's move on to the next steps. So what we see popping up here is the moon. So the moon is a very interesting card. And so what I would recommend doing is with the moon coming up here, you should probably get a dream journal. And you could do this with a phone. You can write down your dreams, text them on a phone. There's no problem with doing that. But you want to start writing your dreams down when you remember them, because the moon is the phase when you've gone through this intellectual logos period, right? So that's the conscious brain. Now your subconscious is going to start processing the data. And when that happens, you're going to probably start having some weird dreams, some weird phenomenon. This is your subconscious really trying to integrate and process data. So be prepared for that. And the best way to get through that period is to just write that data down, to get that dream out, and then to analyze it. That way you're showing the subconscious the respect that it deserves, and you'll gain a lot of insight and wisdom by doing that. I actually have a lecture here on YouTube on dream interpretation. So if you're not familiar with how to do that, you can check it out there. I think it's called The Interpretations of Dreams by Sigmund Freud, Chapter 1, I believe is the name of the lecture. But you can find that here on my YouTube channel. So check that out. And so that is the advice I have for you, Stephen, is definitely start engaging with a dream journal to help you get through this time of subconscious integration. I will ask, when you were a kid, did you know you would be a wizard? Yeah, kind of. I mean, anyone can be a wizard. It's just about studying archetypical story, magic and illusion. You use the magic and illusion to present the wisdom, which you memorize. So this is like my memory bank here. I use a mnemonic system. That's these cards. I use these cards to memorize wisdom from the philosophical works. The archetypical story is the fact that there's patterns of behavior that exist throughout all people in all times. And so what I need to do is figure out what character a person is, what story they're in, and what part of the story they're at. Once I know what that is, I use magic and illusion to help me do that, and then I use magic and illusion to present the information that I've learned from the philosophies to help you move forward on that story. So that's what I'm trying to do as a wizard. Steven says, can I do this? Absolutely, yes. I'd recommend making it your own. I use philosophy, but you can do it with anything. You could do this with, I don't know, history. You could do this with science. You could do it with math. Whatever works best for you, whatever compository of wisdom that you want to hold. For example, I'm working with alchemy right now because you guys have been asking about it and the owls want to know about it. So I've been looking into that topic for people. And that's something that I do as well. And it looks like sounds like, was that accurate for you, Stephen? Did they give you the insight you're looking for? I'm assuming it was. And then with that, I think we're going to close up the stream. Only 35 minutes over, my goodness. Alex is going to be upset. Oh, well. That means less anime for her, and you know how she gets. Stephen says, yes, awesome. Glad to hear that that was on point for you, Stephen, and gave you the insight you're looking for. So with that, we're going to close up the stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to get a free personality test, see what my lessons and guidance is like, you can go to askawizardmagic.com, get the free personality test there. Also, if you'd like to support the stream, help spread Logos and help get the wisdom out to the world, go to patreon.com/askawizard, where you can buy me a cup of coffee, you can buy me lunch, or you can buy me dinner. And that is the Feed the Wizard program over on Patreon. Anime recommendations, Death Note. Death Note's awesome. Actually, it depends. Some people wouldn't like Death Note. Naruto's good too. All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Pacific Coast time here on YouTube, and then on TikTok, Monday through Friday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Coast time. I will see you guys all there. High School Host Club of Promised Neverland. I saw that on Netflix. I'll have to check that out. All right, thank you very much, and I will see you guys later. Peace.